The global craft beer industry is expected to gross over $509 billion by the year 2025. Whether you prefer hop forward or something on the lighter side, there's no shortage of places to grab a pint, with over 4,000 breweries opening across the country within the past 2 years. And where they open, they affect the area around them. It's been 2 years since Tradesman Brewing opened their doors at an old industrial lot on the outskirts of downtown Charleston, South Carolina.
We love our little neighborhood.
Co-owner of Tradesman, Chris Wynn, has seen the area around him change at a rapid rate, and he believes his brewery gives people a reason to come out to an otherwise desolate space.
Our milkshake brings all the people to the yard, right? I mean, you can get people to go to places that they wouldn't go, and that's a good thing for most cities in terms of development.
Development is something the Holy City is no stranger to. In 2017, Charleston was named the fastest gentrifying city nationwide by Realtor.com, boasting rental rates almost 16% higher than they were 5 years ago. Also on the rise in Charleston is the number of craft breweries, which has more than tripled in the past 4 years. Wynn believes this influx has helped to support the local economy.
Any brewery, whether it's ours or any one of those breweries in any town in the country, that's a real economic boon.
In addition to economic impact, Associate Professor of Sociology at the City University of New York, Richard Osejo, says that the opening of a brewery can be beneficial to an area.
So there are some formerly industrial communities simply don't have anybody living there. So these breweries are kind of moving into this kind of empty space, and they're kind of cultivating a community where none existed before.
But other times, a new brewery can spell trouble for current residents.
In situations where they move into communities that are existing, that in some cases are struggling, and like any other business that opens up in a gentrifying area, it's going to reproduce these sort of tensions.
Here in Brooklyn, the neighborhood of Gowanus has experienced dramatic change in the past few years. An area that used to be characterized by abandoned warehouses, forgotten factories, and a toxic waste-filled canal is now home to luxury high-rise apartment living and a growing number of craft breweries.
John Hanrahan is the taproom manager of Strong Rope Brewery, which is called President Street home for the past 4 years. He says the area became popular for breweries after the neighborhood was rezoned in 2013.
You can get all these previous warehouses and garages, that coupled with rent that you can actually manage is one of the many reasons of choosing this location.
But Hanrahan realizes that the changes the neighborhood has gone through haven't been positive for all of its residents.
We work with several charities in the neighborhood to help support those that have been left behind as the neighborhoods have changed and developed, especially in recent times with gentrification and a lot of people getting left out of the prosperity that this part of Brooklyn has seen.
Sociologist Osejo says that people being left behind as the neighborhood develops is not uncommon. And when breweries move to an area, they often don't come alone.
They're not the cause, but they're part of like a growing pattern, right? That you see in a lot of these changing neighborhoods. It is going to lure new investments and new developments to them in a way that could displace groups that have been living there, that have been potentially struggling there.
But for Charleston brewer Wynn, he believes that breweries do more good than harm for the areas they inhabit.
Crazy rents, crazy retail schemes, all the hotels, 10 times the population of our community coming in and out of town is probably a good place to address in terms of a gentrification effect. Breweries in the city, I'd like to think that we have much more of kind of a community backbone effect. We're not running anybody out of town. We're not driving up rent.
Whichever way you look at it, one thing is for sure. These breweries won't be doing last call anytime soon.